Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We are so excited to be back. We've had such great response from all of you this past several weeks, right, Ashley? It's been a lot
Yeah.
of fun. We've had so many great panelists, and today is no different. So we're going to go ahead and get started. But before we do, thank you for joining us, like I said, for Ask Epic. We're meeting every week to discuss all things Epic. And boy, do we have a lot, right, Ashley?
That's right.
We have a lot of things that go on with Epic every week. Every week we're finding there's just so many things that we want our families to know and understand. So we really are meeting these Ask Epic times are opportunities to provide new to Epic families and returning families just a place to learn about opportunities that we offer. I'm Carla Smitherman, and I'm here from the Epic Development Team.
Yeah, thank you, Carla. And I'm Ashley, and I'm also from the Epic Development team. So, we're excited to be here today. Today, we're doing a little different. We're going to answer some more questions regarding enrollment. I know that we've already talked about enrollment way back at the beginning, but something that Carla and I noticed is that we're still getting a lot of the same questions and concerns. So, we thought, let's address that. School's getting ready to start, and we thought it would be a good idea to give people a little peek into what has to happen before school starts. And so I did want to address also, a lot of you are probably, if you're already enrolled, you're starting to hear from your teachers. We're doing our meetings for ILPs. That's getting started and getting set up. So if you haven't heard from your teacher yet, you probably will very soon. And I also wanted to say, for those of you that are joining our schoolhouse model, that was that to the process of getting those teacher assignments made was a little bit different than how we do it for our regular one-to-one model. So that was being finalized this week. It may be finalized as of right now. I'm not sure. But if you're a schoolhouse parent and you have not heard from a teacher yet, don't panic. That's going to be happening in the next few days. And if you have questions about that, you can always reach out to us. Let's see. And so today we're being joined by Judy Jones. Judy is the director of our graduation support team. And so she plays a very big role in getting our students ready to start school. And so thank you so much, Judy, for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, of course. We're so happy you're here. And so we just thought it would be great. You have some great insight to give us, because I don't know that people realize there is a lot of behind the scenes work that has to happen before school can start, right? You're in your busy season right now.
Absolutely. Our team of graduation support specialists are responsible to get schedules made. So everybody is ready to go on the first day of school. And here at Epic, we individualize every single high school schedule, which is amazing. But it takes time, right? And so we have a
Right.
huge team that looks at every single transcript, every single student, and we manually make those schedules over the summer so everybody's ready to go on the first day of school. So that's what we're doing right now.
Awesome. Yeah, good things take time, right? So thank
Mhm.
you. I'm just so glad you could be here today. We've got some questions for you, and participants or audience. As you think of questions, please type them in the chat box, and we will address those as we see them. So, and you can always, I'll type it here in the chat box. If you have a really specific question, you are always welcome to email Carla and I's team at edt@epiccharterschools.org, and we can help you that way. So I'm going to type that in right now.
Yeah, thank you, Ashley. It is an exciting time of year. I think Ashley's already mentioned that. As you all are all on enjoying vacations, like Ashley said, we're behind the scenes. Miss Judy is there behind the scenes, and all of Epic is behind the scenes, just getting everything prepared and organized to make sure there's a smooth transition as the school year begins. So this is what this Epic Ask Epic is about. We just really want to make sure that you understand the sense of urgency behind enrollment and make sure Miss Judy is able to answer all of your questions.
Oh,
I think Carla kind of cut
yeah,
out.
Carla, your audio kind of cut out there. Are you back yet? Let's see. Okay. I can't hear you yet, Carla. So I'll step in. I couldn't hear what you said, but I know where you were going. So while we wait for your sound to come back, I can take over. So let's see. So yeah, like Carla was saying, at this time, there's a lot of behind the scenes work happening. So after you get your enrollment done, you have to have a teacher assigned. If you're a high school student, you need your schedule created. And honestly, there's a lot more. We also will have your ILP happening with your teacher. Again, those are happening starting, I think, now in the next few days, in the next few weeks. And so there's just a lot that has to happen. And so we want to talk about how to make this as efficient as possible, because if there's too much of a delay, if you wait too close to the start of school, you may not be ready to go on the first day, because again, there's so much behind the scenes. So we want to kind of go over that. Judy, could you give us a little insight? What has to happen from when a student enrolls to the first day of school? What is happening behind the scenes on your side?
So in our department, we manually transcribe the high school, or manually schedule all of the high school students. And that includes our 8th graders from last year that are moving into high school, which is super exciting, all the way up through our seniors. And so we have to take a look at their transcript. We take a look at what curriculum they want. We take a look at what credits they've earned, what their goals are in the future, and we make a schedule according to that. And of course, aligned with all of the state standards, the state requirements for graduation.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Judy. Carla, do you want to see if yours audio is back yet? Let's see.
Yeah, is it?
You're good.
Back
You're
on?
good. You're
Okay.
back.
Okay. So Judy, also let us know. I just was curious to know about. I know a lot of families, just really struggle with understanding the different aspects of what is involved. Do you have any ways to give us feedback on what families should do to make sure that they are completely informed about what goes on, or what's happening with their student? You have any feedback on us for that? Does that make sense?
It does, and I'll do my best to answer your question. So there's so many different departments here that support our students and our families, and I'm just one piece of that puzzle. For us, we want to get all these schedules made in so that everybody's ready for the first day of school. So there's a lot of things that have to happen before we can make that schedule. And so for us, what that means is, of course, it has to be an actively enrolled student. And then at this time of the year, it also means that the high school course registration form is completed. And if that wasn't done, if you're not a re-enrolled student, but you're a new student, that's tied into the ILP. So having that ILP completed, that meeting with that teacher, is what initiates our team to be able to make a schedule for you. Because during that meeting with that teacher, you're deciding on what curriculum is best. Here at Epic, we offer all these different curricula, and it's an amazing opportunity. But my team doesn't know what to schedule unless that form's been completed. So it's really, really important to get those meetings, get that form completed, those ILPs completed with your teacher as soon as possible. Because if you can imagine, at a brick and mortar school, if you went to your high school counselor and you were discussing classes that you wanted to take for the upcoming school year, we have about 20 on our team, and we have over 10,000 high school students. So can you imagine how long the line is? And so you want to get in line first. And the way that happens is completing that ILP. Our team literally looks at the date that those are submitted, and those are the ones that we work first come, first serve, right? And so get those ILPs, those meetings done, and that will help get that schedule made. And so you're ready to go for the first day of school.
That makes a lot of sense to me. We appreciate all the work you do. Wow, that is a great point. Thinking about all those students, and you have such a, not a lot of people that are getting a lot of work done for a lot of people. So we really appreciate all the work and effort that you put into it. And you all do a really good job of making sure our families have those schedules ready the first day of school, right? We want
Yes,
them
ma'am.
ready August the 21st.
That's right. That's
But
right. And I
we
don't
can't
want to,
get that done. We can't get that done without the ILP, right? And without
you are
the
right.
enrollment.
You are right. In our elementary students, I don't want to leave them out at all, right? That IOP process is the same process for them because you're selecting that core curricula and all of those things. So that kind of completes your enrollment. It's not that you're not enrolled if you don't get it done, but it really does complete that piece of it so that you are ready to work on the first day of school.
Awesome. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's overall, it's just, as a parent and as a working parent, we all understand things can get crazy and maybe you have not had a chance to enroll or you have not had a chance to schedule your ILP. We totally get it. But then we also want to make sure that people are aware of everything that happens behind the scenes because it makes a difference. And like you said, you have a lot of work to do and you have, a set amount of people that can do it. So it's a first come, first serve basis. Would you say, I know that, the big thing is getting that meeting done on time and getting your enrollment done quickly. Is there anything else that you see as like a barrier that might hold people up in getting their schedules created? Is there any other barriers that you encounter?
Some of our new to EPIC students that were at a brick and mortar school last year, or maybe a homeschool, something like that. If they earned any high school credits at any other school, we have to have that transcript on file from that school. So for our brand new students to EPIC, or students that were with EPIC and then maybe went to a brick and mortar for a year and then are coming back to EPIC, we need an updated transcript that shows all of those credits earned so that we can make your schedule. And so that's the other barrier that we see at this time of the year when we're waiting on records to come in and specifically a transcript. Because we just can't make a schedule unless we have a transcript.
I know, Miss Judy, sometimes as a teacher, I remember having patiently waiting, twiddling my thumbs, waiting on that transcript to happen. And, I'll just have to tell you, ladies, I would have to ask my families, hey, go by there at that high school, go knock on the door, get the
Yeah,
transcript.
sometimes that's what it takes. Of course, we order the records, if that's what you want to call it. We request the records from those schools, but sometimes, they're busy too, trying to get their school year up and running, or maybe it was an old fax number, or believe it or not, people still use faxes. Something may happen to where that communication didn't go all the way through, and we're still just waiting and waiting, or maybe the wrong school was put down on an enrollment application and we sent the records request to a wrong school. So all those different things is super helpful if you just bring that to your ILP meeting. Your teacher can scan that in. There's also ways to upload it during the enrollment process. We know that some of the schools are closed for a time over summer, and we just have to wait until they open back up to get a hold of those records. But we certainly appreciate all efforts, to help get that transcript in.
We just want to see this transition as possible for everyone.
Yeah.
That's right.
So anyway, that's great. Well, thank you. I mean, that makes so much sense. And I really appreciate, again, all the efforts that you and your group and your team put in weekly and through the year to make sure that our families and our students are well served on that first day of school and really throughout the year. So are there any other input that you'd like to provide for us today?
Those are the two main things that we need to get you started, get you going, get that ILP done, and then get us a transcript if you're new to EPIC or left EPIC in our back.
Awesome. I had a question for you, Judy. I know this is something I've encountered a few times, and I think I've even emailed you about it before. So sometimes we're talking to families that are coming to us from homeschool or maybe from a private school. And this is mainly for high school students. The big concern is, what am I going to be classed at? Could you talk us through what typically happens in that scenario for those that might be in those shoes?
Sure. I will start with the easiest, which are usually our private schools. So a lot of our private schools in Oklahoma have gone through the process of being accredited through our state department. And we actually have a website that we look at. And so and if their name's on that list, we can accept those credits just like we do for all of our other uh, credits that are coming from public schools. So those private schools that are accredited like that, easy peasy, we can award those credits. The more difficult conversations to have or processes to go through are students that are coming to us from a non-accredited school. And that does include homeschools. It can include some private schools, which I know is hard because we have families that pay a lot of money to go to a private school, but sometimes they're not accredited. And because Epic is a public accredited school, we have guidelines that we have to go by to award credits. And so the first process though, in starting the whole thing is to get us a transcript. Even if you're coming from a homeschool, you can create a transcript. And so we're just looking for what credits did you earn? What classes did you take while you were at homeschool? What year did you take it? Things like that. That gives us a starting place to know what did you take. And then what we do to start the process, I know it sounds terrible, but if you come in as a senior and you're coming from a homeschool or a non-accredited school, we do bump you back down to a freshman, usually temporarily, because you're starting out with 0 credits until we can, I'm at a loss for words, until we can help gain back those credits that you took at the non-accredited school. And so as you start earning back those credits, and I'll tell you how we do that in just a minute, we have to start you out as if you had 0 credits, which would be a freshman. But as you redeem those credits that you took at that non-accredited school, we can bump you back up even throughout the year to that grade level classification, hopefully that you entered in at. And so at Epic, we work with the teacher and we work with the family because we have a variety of ways to try to redeem those non-accredited courses that were taken. The first thing is we have credit by exam. So we have, if you say you took Algebra 1 and Geometry at your non-accredited school, we'll just set you up for a test. If you score 70% or higher, we can award credit for that automatically based on that exam. And we have a lot of exams to take. So that usually redeems most of the credits that were taken. Things like electives, like while you're in that non-accredited school, maybe you did piano lessons or you did physical education, things like that. We can build some portfolios. There's certain requirements, paper submissions, things like that to help redeem those credits. And then if neither one of those options work, we do have credit recovery options, which is a way to retake the course in a short amount of time, show that you've mastered the standards for those core subjects, and then you do it in a shorter amount of time. And once those credits are redeemed, we can move you through those rather quickly and then get you back on pace to where you were. And while we can mix and match all those different ways, you know, just depending on any documentation or things like that you have. But it's a really, really individualized approach when it comes to it. There is a lot of it is sometimes work involved in it, but we've been successful with that for years and years and years. But it's just something where you work with your graduation support counselor really, really closely.
Yeah, the grad specialist supports have been amazing, working with a lot of our families that come to us. And we do have a lot of families that come to us from a variety of backgrounds and, you know, like you're saying, in private schools. And I do love the fact that Epic has those variety of options that we can help expedite the process to get through high school. So that's wonderful that your team works very well to make those things happen and works and partners with the families and the teacher to get them through the processes. I don't know how we do it without you, so I can just say that much. And as far as, you know, something that you were talking about as far as the credit recovery system, can you be a little bit more? So let's just pretend a family comes and just listens now, can you be a little bit more, just a little bit more detailed about exactly what credit recovery might look like? Do you mind just tell us a little bit more about that, just in case someone wouldn't know what that means?
Sure. So all of our credit recovery courses for this year are located in a curriculum called Plato. It's an online curriculum. And the courses, I don't know how to say it correctly, but basically they're stripped down to the standards that the state requires. Some of the extra that are in maybe some of the other courses, I don't want to say extra, but anyway, it strips it down to the minimum state standards, those courses do. And so we know that once you've gone through those lessons and you've showed that you've mastered those minimum state standards in a quick way, in that online curriculum, it allows you to move through that at a much faster pace than one of our regular courses. So they are adjusted a little bit to help a student recover those credits in a faster manner. Does that help?
Yeah, I think that was great, Judy. I mean, I think, yeah, you're right. It's just a way to kind of get them through a course in a consolidated way. We just do it a little faster. So it doesn't mean it's any easier by any means.
Right.
It's still going to take work, but it's just a way, and we pare it down so that students are only working on 1 or 2 classes at a time. And that allows them to really laser focus and get that done. And those are things too that, teachers, again, it's so individualized. Teachers really work one-on-one with what works for that student. And I think that something that's really cool about our school, and I'm sure you've definitely seen this in your time, is everybody has the same goal. Our goal is, how do we get this student what they need, and how do we do it in a way that works for them? It is not in any way a one-size-fits-all approach.
Not at all.
And so you could say, I always find myself on the phone with parents saying, well, here's what could happen. But at the end of the day, your teacher, your GSS, your principal, everybody's going to need to hear your situation, and they're going to try to come up with what might work best in that situation, because it could be different every time. And that makes the job interesting, right? On your side, you don't, it could be different, but it's what's best for the student.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because we love individualizing those schedules. And you're like, well, you just make a schedule. Yeah, but sometimes it does matter. Some of our students, they need to see the big picture. They need to see, okay, give me everything I need to graduate, even if that means 15 courses this semester. And then there's other students that's really overwhelming, right? To schedule something like that. So we can, like you said, do block scheduling where we load up, let's make it through your English and your science courses first. And we'll just focus in on those 2 subjects, and we'll work through those. And then we can move on to the next one. And so I love that approach. It's just whatever works for those students. And hopefully with the credit recovery, because these are classes that these students have already taken at the non-accredited school, hopefully all of those standards and things will come back to their memory, and that way they can move through those classes really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I think we're all on the same page. We all have the same goal. And one thing I can say, when I've talked to families that are in these situations where they're trying to, classify themselves where they want to be in high school, is that we can really count on the GSS team to hold their hand and do what they need. Like, you guys are there to make it work. We're not trying to be a barrier to these kids' goals. You guys are really trying to make it work for them. And that's been really reassuring for me and for those parents whenever I do have to reach out to your team and ask for a little guidance there. You guys have always been extremely helpful. So that's great.
Yeah, I agree, Miss Judy. I've worked with GSS for many years now, and I have found them always be very. And so we really appreciate everything. And I know that our families really appreciate you as well. So, and your team.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I think what we're going to, Ashley, did we have anything else for Miss Judy, Miss Jones, or
I don't.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we do right now. So, but if Judy, if you don't mind sticking around for just a bit in case somebody does have a question, that would be wonderful. Because they may have a question that we don't quite know the answer to. So we would love to have you around if you don't mind. And then Carla and I had a few questions that we've been getting a lot that we thought would be great to address today. But again, if you have a question that you'd like answered, and if you don't mind, type it in the chat box and we'll definitely hit that today. And again, if it's something that's a little more detailed, please feel free to email us. I know we've dropped that in the chat box as well. So Carla, if you want to hit me with some questions, I'm ready.
Yeah, Ashley, I hope you're ready. Okay, so the first question is, Ashley, this is one of the questions we are receiving. Is it too late for me to enroll?
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not. We talked about this a little bit earlier. It's absolutely not too late to enroll, but it's just important to keep in mind, number one, how long, if you wait too close to the start of school to enroll, you might run into the issue of not having your curriculum or your technology ready to go on August 21st, which is our first day of school. So if you want to come to Epic next year, let's enroll yesterday so that we can make sure you have your ILP meeting done, your technology ordered, and all of that. Another thing that I want to throw out there about getting enrolled, if you haven't yet, is if you were at Epic in the past, or maybe you're brand new to Epic, but somebody told you of an amazing teacher. If you want to get on that teacher's roster, rosters are filling up. And so it's important to think about, maybe even reaching out to that teacher. How much room, because teachers know, how much room do you have left on your roster? And they may tell you, I've only got 1 or 2 spots. So if that's the case, that's another reason to think about getting that enrollment done sooner rather than later.
That's great, Ashley. Absolutely. Okay, next question. How do I reset my parent passcode? How do I reset that?
Carla and I know this is a question, and I'm sure a lot of other people at Epic that we hear, I would say maybe 100 times a day. We hear parents, I get it. There's so many logins these days. There's Netflix, I've got Google, Parent Power School. There's too many logins. And so we hear this a lot that you need help to get in. And so the first step I would say is our customer service team. They are so great. They get back to you quick. You can go on the website and use the chat feature and get in touch with a customer service rep that way. You can send them an email. And then, hey, if you're old school, just pick up the phone and call them. They are really helpful. And you just give them your name, your email, I believe student's name, and just say, hey, I need to reset my Power School. I'm locked out. And they always get you what you need really quick.
All right, very good.
Oh, okay. I have some for you, Carla. I got a list of questions too. So get ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready.
What do we do? Let's say this is a family that was at Epic last year and they're ready for a change as far as their teacher goes. How do they, if they want to get a new teacher for the school year, how do they go about that?
Okay, absolutely, Ashley. When you enroll with Epic, there is an opportunity for it'll ask you a question. Do you want to stay with your same teacher? And then you just say yes or no. If you say yes, an opportunity for you to put another teacher's name. So yes, you can change teachers if you absolutely want to as you re-enroll.
Awesome. Thank you, Carla. And if for any reason you had already enrolled and you didn't have a chance to mark that, you can always reach out to our enrollment team, I believe, or even just ask your teacher, say, hey, we'd like to make a change. That's also an option.
Correct. Or your principal. You can reach out to your principal.
Oh, your principal. Good
or
one.
your current teacher.
Yes.
Or enrollment. Thank you very much, Ashley. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, let's see. What else do I have? Oh, okay. We've talked to some people recently that have been at Epic, but they have had a job change and are now moving out of the state, and they're wondering if they can still be students of Epic.
Well, unfortunately, that's something that we just hate to say, but no, you cannot be a one of our Epic family anymore. But we love you. And but we cannot allow you to be a part of our Epic family if you're not in the state of Oklahoma. So let me keep moving on. And I think I have some more questions for you, Ashley. So let's move on. Ashley, so here's what I hear a lot, and I'm bringing this up because some families really make decisions about where they attend school based on this one question. That's why I'm bringing it up. My student wants to take AP classes. Are they available with Epic?
Great question. And I love a student that is looking to take AP courses because that is a hardworking student. And yes, the answer is we do have AP classes. And I am really excited to say that we have a big list of AP classes that are available. I was just on our website the other day checking it out, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of options for AP students. So we do have them available. And if you're interested in that, check out our website. If you have not been on the Epic website, I mean, it is chock full of information. And so if you go on there and look at, I believe it's under student programs, it'll say AP, and it's got the full list of courses that are available. So, and if you would like to enroll in some AP courses, please make sure to let your teacher know in your ILP or as soon as you can, and they can help you get started with that.
Very good. That's a very frequent one. We get that one
Yes,
a lot.
absolutely. It is. Okay. And so now here's one that's a little more directed to enrollment. And again, because this is Carla and I talk to people every day that are filling out the enrollment application. What do parents do when they're filling out this application for enrollment and they get an error message? What would you recommend?
Well, I'll tell you what, the first thing I ask you to do is make sure you're in Google Chrome. Google Chrome is basically what most of our computer programmings are compatible with. So that's the first thing. Also, you want to make sure that your computer, your own, whatever computer you're using, it just seems to make things be more efficient and more effective when your computer is updated. Of course, if you're on your iPhone, the same. Another thought is maybe restart your computer or your iPhone. That seems to help. And then last but not least, I think Ashley keeps bringing our customer service up. Last but not least, if you're getting an error message, by all means, contact our customer service.
Awesome. You kind of cut out there for a second, Carla, but I think I know where you were headed. So if none of those tricks work, those are kind of our tips and
Because they can
tricks.
surely help you
Oh,
out.
there's that audio came back. But yeah, if those tips and tricks don't work, reach out to customer service. They're great. And you can call them, email them, or what was the other thing we said? Chat on the website.
Yeah.
Okay, I have,
Yeah.
let's see, another question.
Okay.
This is a good one. What do we need to complete enrollment? What documents do we have to submit for enrollment?
Absolutely. That's a great one. Proof of residency is the most important one because if you're coming back to Epic for the first time, this is the first year as a returning family that we've asked for proof of residency. So basically what that includes is it could be a driver's license, it could be your copy of your utility bill. The most important part is that the name on the enrollment and an address must be the same as what we have in our system. So your family member and their name is John Doe and Baker Street. Have John Doe 300 Baker Street on that utility. So I hope that's clear. Ash, am I still coming in pretty clear right now?
It was a little bit choppy, but I think you could hear the majority of it. So yeah, just make sure that proof of residency matches what is on your parent portal account. So if they don't match, enrollment won't be able to verify with that.
That's right, absolutely. And if you have questions, again, you can email enrollment or email customer service, and they'd be more than happy to answer those. And then you can email us. We'd be more than happy to answer those questions as well. We've had a lot of questions about those. We've had families that are moving, and we've had families that are in the process of moving. Hey, what address should I use? What should I do? Just email us. We can help you out. Again, we keep talking about every situation is individual. Every person, every family has an individual situation. So just email us and we can make sure that we're helping you out. Okay. So, Ashley, I've heard this question a lot.
Mhm.
How long does it take me to complete this application?
Yes. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm not muted. Okay, good. So the application is not, it's not too bad. I would say on average, maybe 25, 30 minutes. But I know that a lot of us are busy and have kids and jobs and houses to clean or whatever it is to do. And so you may not have 30 minutes to sit down, start to finish and get it done. But the good news is that this application, you can start it, answer a few questions. And when someone comes in and needs you to warm up their mac and cheese, you can hit save and come back to it later. So if you're like me, that is a blessing because uh, in the evenings when I've got kids at home, I'm lucky to sit down for 10 minutes. So it's nice to know you could come back later. So it's not too bad, about 25, 30 minutes, I would say.
Very good. And I think that makes it really nice that we have our system that it saves
Mhm.
because I know plenty of times I filled out applications online and if I come back or if the something happens, oh my goodness, that is very frustrating. So very happy that we have that. We for that opportunity to do that. So that's great. Let's see. I have a question. I know that some families, Ashley, as their student turns 18, they have the opportunity. What happens from there? And so you and I both can address that. Basically, I've had families who've enrolled, their student has turned 18, and the parent portal is no longer working. So what
Mhm.
do I do? How do I enroll my student? So you can go ahead and begin to address it, and I'll just hop in as well.
Sure, sure. Yeah, so we've been hearing this a lot. My team has that parents can't get into their parent portal, and it's because their kid had a birthday and they're 18 now. And so there is a way to resolve that. It is, up to the student to say, "Yep, I want my parent on my parent portal or Power School." And so there's a form that we need to fill out, and the student has to have their own Power School account as well. And customer service can help with that. They are kind of our big helpers when it comes to getting people on Power School. And so if you find out as a parent you need in Power School and it won't let you in, it's just because there's a form that needs filled out, and your student needs to give you access because they're all grown up. They're adults now.
That's exactly right. I think it's been a challenge for a lot of our families.
Mhm.
But just know, family, don't worry. There are different ways to make sure that you still have access to their portal, and you'll be able to access their grades and everything else you want to. Ordering in for Learning Fund, we just have to have a form filled out, like Ashley mentioned. So don't worry if your student does have to fill out that portal and fill out another one. There's a way to make sure that you still have access. So
Yeah, of course.
we'll
Yeah.
make sure we address those as they come in. All right. But as of now, again, if you're 18, if your student turns 18, you will not be able to have access into that portal any longer to be able to enroll them. We have to create another account for them.
Awesome. Yep. Thank you, Carla. Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like we covered a lot today, as usual.
Yeah,
So the school year, like I mean, gosh, it is coming up quick. The summer is
it
flying. So it is, and for
is.
some of us, I think it's sneaking up on us. I've talked to some parents recently that are like, "Oh, wow, yeah, I need to enroll because it's getting quick." I'm like, "Yeah, we're starting ILP meetings." So I hope you
Mhm.
guys are having a great summer. But just please don't forget what we've talked about today, kind of what has to happen to get us ready for the school year. So if you have been needing to enroll and just haven't had a chance, maybe take some time to get that done because we want to make sure you guys are ready to go August 21.
That's right. And if you still have questions about any programs or anything discussed today, hey, guess what? We have a phone number I'm going to provide, 405-749-4550, extension 489, or you can email us. And I think we put that email in the chat box, but
We
it is
have.
edu@ethicchartersschools.org. And we're just happy to help you out in any way we can. We want to make this school year the best ever, right, Ashley? We want to
Mhm.
make sure you're informed, make sure that you understand everything that you need to get ready for a great transition for August the 21st. I can't believe I'm saying that date. It's around the corner.
Oh, can't hear you, Carla. I'll step in. So thank you, Carla. I'm sorry. So yeah, so next week we're going to be back.
Anyway, set your students up for success. Can you hear me?
Okay. Okay, that audio was catching up. I'm sorry, everyone. That was kind of a glitch there. But next week, we're going to be back and we're going to be discussing how to set up our students for success. So getting some tips, maybe some tips that we have from veteran families or teachers, and just really getting ourselves prepared to kick off a new school year and really getting set up on the right foot. And so there's a lot to learn there, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I want to say thank you, Judy, so much again for being here.
Yes,
You had so much information to share, and that was great. So again, thank you everybody for being here, and come back next week for Ask Epic.
Ask Epic. Bye. Thank you, Miss Judy, and tell your team thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.